Good morning from each and every part of the world that you're joining this series of the Daily Morning Market Call from. My name is Kefa Eric, one of the market analysts here at HFM, linking you to the global market. Now, today is an eventful day, quite historic day, one day after the inauguration of Donald Trump as the United States president. And from his previous term from 2016, 8th of November, 2016, November 8th, we know the implications that he had on the charts, and we're going to be discussing that in a short time. But before we dive in deeper, I would like to bring it to your attention that this is going to be a pre-recorded YouTube video, to mean that you could find it on our YouTube channel at HFM Kenya. Kindly like, subscribe, and click on the notification button so that you're not left out in future content. Now, yesterday we experienced a quite unusual inauguration. Unusual in what sense? The Donald Trump second term is coming in with quite an influx of policies, both domestic and international. For those of us who were observing the market slightly before he was inaugurated, we know that the dollar depreciated in its value. We shall be seeing the effects of the reasons of the happening of this, and also the consequences of the same. We are familiar to his leadership style, and this is of course in reference to both domestic and international policy. And it is said that he is to decrease 60 to 100 decrease, although presidential executive orders, which are going to shake up the financial markets, because that's our core business in the financial markets. How do we leverage on this information to be able to monetize it and make a profit out of it? Now, some of the decrease that is going to be bringing forth a decrease which revolves around immigration, domestic policy, foreign policy. We see quite a shift of things days before he was sworn in. We see an envoy in Israel to try and strike a balance to mitigate on the war which is happening in that part of the world. The effect of this is going to be on the commodities. And under commodities, we would want to put our focus on gold and oil, and of course the others, among others. Now, yesterday we experienced the market during New York session, the dollar decreasing in its value. The reasons of this, it's because Trump effected a decree to have 25% on tariffs, and let's see, guys, can't hear me. Oh. Okay. So everyone is brought back. We could proceed. If you can hear me, please type here so that I know we are on the same track. Yes, you're back. Okay. Okay. Nice. All right. So I was saying. So apologies for that technical hitch. I was saying that Donald Trump entry back into the White House is going to have an implication both domestic and international. But we as investors and traders, our core business is how do we take advantage of this information. Now we know that his foreign policy and domestic policy are going to revolve around immigration. They're going to revolve around international policy or foreign policy, if you may like. They're also going to revolve around state functionality, and then relevance of understanding his leadership style is for us to anticipate market direction. Remember, from the definition of the financial markets, we speculate on the appreciation or depreciation of financial assets with the aim of making a profit. Now, with that in mind, yesterday during New York session, I had quite a number of DMs and also see observations from the social media. Guys were asking what is happening to the dollar. Moments before he was sworn in, it was alleged that from 1st of February, it's going to be effective for the Mexican and Canadian tariff increase to 25%. Remember, these are the countries bordering the United States, both in the south and the north. So that's quite a trade warfare in the neighborhood. That had the implication of lessening the value of the United States dollar. But how long will this take? To have a synopsis of this, remember first when Donald Trump came into office on the 8th of November 2016, we saw the dollar increasing in its value. Oh, in fact, far away from that, on the 4th of November 2024, once it was clear that Donald Trump is going to win the election, we know that the dollar increased in its value. How do we know this? We could observe it through the candlestick charts, right? And this was because of the reflection of the policies that he was bringing forth. These policies could be quite a number, but just narrowed down them into two for simplicity. Number one would be low taxes and low regulations for US-based companies that will encourage people to invest in US-based companies, start new companies. That is going to strengthen the economy, right? That's on one side. On the flip side, more taxes, more regulation for foreign companies, right? So the easy prediction would be seeing a dollar increase in its value with time. And of course, this is also subjected to geopolitical events. How are other key leaders, how are other powerful states taking in the information and the moves of Donald Trump in the international space? Now, having said that, we proceed to the chart. Nice. So let's go to a lower time frame. This is USD card. See the implication of this. Nice. So due to the tariffs which were decreed yesterday, effective on 1st of February, we see these big Marabuzu candles and on the 1 hour time frame and also the 4 hours. They could clearly be seen. I think they're seen much more clearly on the 1 hour time frame. This is because of the reaction of the effective decree from 1st of February. Now, we want to see the aftermath of this reaction to print the price on the upside, to take out the highs, subjected to upcoming economic data, or take out the lows to give us much more market direction. But overall, we know that the US dollar is gaining a strength, right? And if the US dollar is gaining a strength, to put it in summary, we know for the US dollar quote currencies, that's the US dollar coming in second, price will print to the downside. But for the US dollar quote currencies, base currencies, beg your pardon, with the US dollar coming in first, price will print to the upside. Again, this is subjected to upcoming economic data to be printed. And we know at this time of the month, we are done with NFP, we are done with CPI. Now we are anticipating interest rate cuts among an array of other economic data, which are going to be printed in due time. Moving on to gold. Now, the uncertainty is said to be the cause of gold taking out the highs and printing up to the upside, despite the strength of the US dollar. Now, it is important to note that when looking at commodities, we pay keen much more interest to geopolitical happenings. With uncertainties, we have commodities increase in their demand, with a lens focused on gold, right? Now, once the tension smoothens, we shift our bias to look at economic data so as to tell a market direction in regard to this precious metal. For individual stocks, yesterday we observed that for individual stocks, especially those associated with Donald Trump friends or allies, for instance, Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, we know that it's going to increase in its value. All right. If you observe the first row of the attendees of the inauguration, these were tech founders and billionaires, if you may like. It was actually estimated to have had a joint net worth of over $1 trillion US. This is going to have an implication of on the assets which are tradable in that regard and into that context. Now, having understood this, kindly head to the hfm.com website, hfm.com, attempt to register for an account, and you'll have one of our experts call you to enable you participate in these financial markets. As we proceed, it's going to be quite an interesting 4 years. Away from that, as a disclaimer, this is by any chance not financial advice. It's purely meant for education purposes. Kindly do your due diligence and observe risk management so as to experience longevity in the financial markets. Moving on forward, the presidency of Donald Trump is going to have an immense effect on the financial markets. And this could be observed for this first term, and we're going to be seeing much more of this. So, and I would suggest at this point to let's meet tomorrow at the same place, the same time on the Daily Morning Market Call to have a much more understanding and perspective of upcoming economic data and geopolitical events which are going to be shifting market dynamics. And from that, how can we interpret it to be able to be on the possible right side of the financial markets? Until then, take care and God bless.